it to some people coming.
Nice. Appreciate that, man. It's good to see you. It's good to be here. It's beautiful right now. It's literally gorgeous outside. I love it. Sunsets are actually like a thing I commit to most days. So I'll hang the rings up on the rooftop at my apartment and just do some like hit dips, a couple skin the cats.
On
and get
the
into
roof?
It. Oh yeah.
You get your vitamin D, huh?
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. You got to get the sun, man. That's one of the reasons I live in Florida. I love it here. Love it for that.
I take walks to get that, but
Okay.
I don't necessarily have a roof to work out on. So that would that actually would be a pretty good alternative. I think I might have to try that.
It is the best. It is the best. I definitely enjoy it. I bring this boombox with me anywhere I go and just put the speaker on.
Bluetooth?
Yeah. A little JBL clip 4. And it rolls. I tell you what, you make your music to your lifestyle and it's perfect.
It's funny you said that because I was like just recently trying to put some oldies on there and put together a little playlist because I had I had a little baddie at the beach. Yeah, I had a sexy chick from Spain this weekend. So I was like, all right, she drank a little bit more than, she doesn't usually drink. Neither do I, but we both did some drinking on Saturday.
All right.
So Sunday, she's like a little hungover, and so I said, listen, we plan to go to the beach anyway.
Sure.
So I was like, instead of you sleeping longer in, you can sleep on the beach.
How about we
and
leave?
Let's
soak go to the
all
beach.
that vitamin D. And then I was like, yeah, I'll give you a massage on the beach. And then I was like, oh shit, I gotta get the playlist together. Because like once I think that, then I'm like, I gotta prep.
That's exactly right.
For anything I do, there's a prep.
Has to be.
Right, sex on the beach, there's a prep.
You gotta come prepared.
Right, gym date,
come correct.
There's a prep.
That's right.
Because you want to be able to wear gym clothes to the gym, but you want to have a bag like in the car so you can change, so you can like shower and change at the gym, and she can like do her hair, do her makeup.
I appreciate that you show up that way.
Right.
Like most people don't. They're always late.
Well.
They're leaving something.
It might go well.
Yeah, well, of course.
Right. Like if you have a gym date with a girl and then it goes well, then you're gonna want to do something else. But then she's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm icky and I don't really want to. I was sweating."
So it just so happens.
Right. So no. But that's why I tell them ahead of time. I said, "Listen, why don't you pack a change of clothes and whatever you might need for your hair or makeup?" And they're like, "Wait, why?" I was like, just in case."
I like that you leave the mystery there to an extent.
Oh,
like there's some surprise.
No. You have to.
Okay.
With chicks, you have to, because number one, they'll overthink everything. Sure. And then number two, you obviously don't want to take the mystery out of it. You don't like surprises. And then number three, you want to like never confirm, no confirmations. Because I'll fuck around and do that. And if things are going well, I might purposely say, you know what? I had really wanted to do a movie or dinner or something afterwards, but I just got to call and I got to work.
And you leave them wanting more.
Yeah, you leave them hanging.
That's
right.
And then there's a next, if it's opportunity.
Yeah. Sometimes, see, this is the thing. I'm telling guys all the time, like majority of guys that I deal with, that they're actually valuable dudes.
Sure.
I mean, now they would have to be. If they can afford counseling and coaching and all this kind of stuff, then they're in a different tax bracket, right? So what happens is a lot of times these guys, they are confident maybe in business, they're confident, when it comes to work and stuff like that. But then in other areas of their life, then all of a sudden, like the confidence isn't there.
Disappeared.
Right. So it's like you're a
valuable. Isn't that wild?
Right. You're a valuable dude.
You've made it in so many other places in life.
But they're not getting that female validation.
It's wild.
And when you don't get that female validation, a lot of times guys feel like vacant. They feel empty.
Sure.
So it's like, how can you be making this kind of money? How can so many people rely on you for a job? Like if your company goes down, all your employees are out of work. But then when it comes to women, you're like, I'm nobody.
It's wild.
She didn't notice me. She doesn't want me. So a lot of times they don't know their value.
Sure.
So they behave as if their value isn't there. And then when they're meeting new people, those people are just reading that. They're interpreting that.
They're projecting that into the world.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So when people are meeting them, they're like, no, this person isn't.
It's like, what's the story you're telling yourself that takes your value off the table?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So just little things like that actually help create value. They go in the opposite direction. So I like to throw those things in there. That way I'm either embellishing the value that she already recognizes, or I'm generating a value that she didn't recognize, and she wakes the fuck up. I'm like, oh, this is
it's like, this is different.
This person's somebody.
That's exactly right. I respect that. That's a nice play. I'm gonna take that. Right. Actually, I'm gonna take that.
Exactly. And it's like, if I'm gonna bring a woman somewhere, majority of the time I'm gonna bring her somewhere where I know the owner.
Sure. Well, that's
preferably on a day when he's going to be there.
And you have the staff, and there's a relationship, and, you know, you show up.
Right. So then I could say, hey, listen, I actually want you to meet this guy. Like, who's this guy? No, he's actually the owner. Usually isn't here. Yeah. Meet him. Just tell him what you think about his gym. Oh, okay. You see,
you put them into position to be able to make the relation.
So they feel important now.
Of course, and because they are.
And it's a reflection. Yeah, it's a reflection of me, because I'm always thinking, this girl isn't a virgin. All right, I'm always thinking that in my
head. That's your first thought.
No, but but
this girl isn't a virgin.
But look where I'm going with that. She's not a virgin. Right. So the chances of me taking her somewhere or doing something with her that she's never done before, pretty fucking slim. So how am I going to do it? It's not going to be what I do. It's going to be how I do it. So what's going to be different about going to the movies with me? Yeah. What's going to be different about going to dinner with me? What's going to be different?
I think that's a great way to think about it.
Right.
Especially if you can have an understanding of that person, because you have conversation typically before you go on a date, hopefully. I mean, you don't want to waste your time with someone
if they speak the same language.
If they speak.
No, this girl this weekend.
That's a big if.
This girl this weekend, she didn't speak English.
You know, and the reason you all were going out was likely for a specific purpose. You know, you didn't need language.
I grew on her very quickly. Very quickly. From I met her, we ended up spending about 3.5 hours together.
Mazel tov.
I met her, and then
I mean, and when that fire hits,
I didn't let her go for about 3.5 hours, and then I went and got some work done, and we convened again later, and then we did the beach the next day.
That's amazing.
And then this morning she went back to Spain.
Well, that's a great weekend.
Yeah, and it was spontaneous.
Yeah.
And you know what? This is the lesson to learn from it, guys. You know why it was even possible, the thing that put it into motion? Because it was hella game, and I'll go over that another time. We're bullshitting until you guys get into the chat. But what initiated it is you guys, the subs, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm an old dog, right? Like they say in Jamaica, old dog like me. Right? So a lot of times I'm extremely laid back and passive when it comes to the opposite sex. Because I've been there and done that so many goddamn times. I'm not even thinking like that. I'm usually so, focused on something else. And I saw her, she walked by, she had this amazingly sexy walk. It's something different, for me to describe it. It just wasn't that she just, right, it wasn't just she looked good. It was the way her skeleton was moving. And I was going to say nothing. And then I thought to myself, Allende, it's another teachable moment. You got to show, not tell. You're always telling guys, cold approach. Don't pass up any opportunities. So you guys motivate me a lot in that sense, because normally I wouldn't even rise to the occasion because I have nothing to prove.
That's really cool that you actually have that form of accountability because of the channel.
Exactly.
I would have never anticipated that. Right? That's actually really cool.
I don't want to be a hypocrite.
Yeah. No, that's not acceptable. You do not live with any hypocrisy.
Exactly. Yeah. So I walked up on her half lazy with it, and I just was like, I said, you have a very amazing walk. And she looked at me dumbfounded,
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I see you, but I don't see the runway. And she still didn't get it, right?
What a good line, though.
Yeah, so she says to me, I'm not speaking English. I said, oh, okay, habla español. She says, yes. I asked her where she was from in Spanish. And she says, she's from España, she's from Spain. So I said, are you from Madrid? Are you from Barcelona? Where? And she named some island I've never heard of, some little island. I said, really? So she asked me where I was from, and I got to lying. Because she asked me, she's like, you live in Miami? I was like, no. I was like, I live in Atlanta. All right.
Why?
Because I wanted to fuck her this weekend. So I says, because I don't know how long she's staying in Miami. I don't know what the deal is yet, right?
Got it.
So I'm trying to create the scenario in which this needs to happen.
You're a comedian.
Right. I was like, this needs to happen within the next 48 hours. So because I could tell she was interested.
Sure.
Because here's the thing: if a girl's telling you she doesn't speak Spanish, there's two reasons why she could be saying that. One, because she's not interested and she wants you to get out of her face double time. Or she's interested, but she wants to know, are you willing to put the effort in to deal with that struggle?
Sure.
So for me, that's usually an indicator that a woman has high interest. Because if she doesn't even speak the same language, but she's willing to struggle through it with me, you're willing to go through the traductor, the translator, and all this shit. I'm like, okay.
Now, Google Translate's gotten better.
No,
though.
like she wants to fuck.
Yeah.
No, I'm being honest. Like, think about it. If we don't speak the same language, like, what else could she extract from me? You know what I mean?
Only two options.
Because everything else requires communication.
That's right.
Right. So usually that means that she is that interested in a physical, situation, that she's willing to work through the motions, all that extra effort, right? So, that's when I first let her struggle. I first struggled back and forth with her limited English and my limited Spanish to try to gauge her investment level. And then once I saw it was there, then I just pulled out the translator. Yeah, I was like, look, fuck, we could have been doing this the whole time,
right.
But I wanted to see where your head was at because she didn't have internet.
Right.
So I said, okay, cool. So she told me she's only going to be here till Monday. And I says, yeah, I'll probably leave Tuesday. I'll probably leave Tuesday or Wednesday.
Oh my God!
I'll go back to Atlanta, right?
Oh mother of God! Okay.
Hey. So yeah.
Did you keep your same name?
No, yeah, of course.
All right.
Like
I'm just kidding. I wasn't sure what part of the character you were going into.
Listen. Everything else is the truth. I just told her that I don't currently live in Miami. I said I used to.
Okay.
So I'm familiar with the area. Whatever. So I go in the store with her, right? Because we were standing outside of a store talking, right? It's like the mall. And I said to her, you going in here? And she says, yeah. I said, let's go in the store. So we go in the store. So I go in the translator and I tell her that I really love her walk. She has a walk like a model. And she says, thank you. I said, I would love to see you try on some clothes.
See, that's a G move, though.
Yeah.
That's a G move.
And I came up with that when I was a young boy.
Really?
Yeah, when I was 21, I used to take girls in Victoria's Secret. And I would just sneak in the changing room so I could see them try on all these different things. That's where my head was at 21. I don't know what you motherfuckers were doing at 21, but 21, I was sneaking into the fitting room at Victoria's Secret so I could have girls try on multiple outfits for me, and I would tell them I was gonna buy the one that was my favorite. Oh my God! Well, I had a homeboy that used to hook me up with the cards, with the limited gift cards.
Yep.
So I was only paying half anyway. So
I think about 21. I was like crafting policy for state legislature. Very different.
That's some advanced stuff too. All right, let's see how many people we got in this damn chat here. How do I refresh this? Because I'm always off here. So I'm trying to refresh this. All right, what's up, man? I had a fire workout this morning, worked out on my business, did some diet consultations, and created some new dishes as a part-time chef. Okay, all about life setup. That's what's up. If you could go back to age 20, would you still be approaching women on a weekly basis?
Well, we know what he was doing at 21.
On working a job and building a business if you knew what you know now. If I knew what I knew now, I'd actually be talking to more women and doing more business because women never prevented me from doing business. In fact, I've always used women to increase my network. Women know people, man. Let them introduce you to people. Having women with you allows you to get into places and talk to bigger, higher status men. So I think you guys need to stop with the ultimatum thing. You guys, I listen to the shit that these young guys say in the comments. But you guys, everything is always up or down, left or right, black or white, liberal or conservative. Everything's always one extreme or the other. Like, you guys don't know how to, like, do both of anything at the same time.
It's a spectrum.
It's weird to me.
You gotta do both.
Yeah, I mean, in my life, I've always tried to figure out how to get the best of both worlds. That's how my brain is wired.
Literally same.
For me, that's not out the box. That's in my box. Like, that's what's in my box. What's in my box is how do I get all of what I want, maximize on a situation. So, yeah, definitely not letting women... See, that's the problem. You guys let women distract you. That's what it is. You let women take up too much time and energy. It's not really that big of a deal. Well, at least not when it's on your terms. All right, so I'm going to introduce my guest here, and he's got some advice, some games, some insight, a whole bunch of good stuff for you young guys out there. That's what he does, is help young guys get their shit together. And, yeah, look like some of you guys are going to have to catch it on the playback because we're tight. We're on a tight schedule here. 7:24, and I got you till about, 8:15-ish? Yeah, guys, we're on a tight schedule, guys, so you're going to have to get in the description. You're going to have to get on a playback. Even as an older guy, I have relearned some stuff. Yeah, you know what? It's funny because in life, you learn things, and then later on in life, you're just reminded of those things you already had known at one point.
History echoes, man.
Yeah.
You need those reminders.
Yeah, it's just like it reconfirms some shit. It just reminds you of a lesson. So yeah, it's all good. I mean, it's all good. I mean, I think that's actually a beautiful thing because it keeps you on your toes. I mean, life is an experience. I hate to see guys that are like sitting on the sidelines. Yeah. That's one thing that I'm like, I want to encourage guys to do more doing and less reacting.
Amen. Now you've got more context as time passes as well. So if you'd be able to build on that foundation of how you're making decisions and how you're initiating activity, like as you go back through those like lifelong lessons, that repetition is actually going to be able to compound into the different outcomes you're going to be able to facilitate.
Just building on it, building on it, and it's like the concept, like for example, I told you I was sneaking in the damn fitting room at 21. Now I wouldn't do that.
Sure.
Like I'm still doing the same core principle, telling a girl, listen, model these things for me, and whichever one's my favorite, I'll pay for it. I'll buy it for you. That's what I did on Saturday. I had her model some shit, and I picked the outfit I liked, but I didn't sneak in the changing room. That's the difference. I'm mature
elevated
enough now.
Game.
Right.
That's
I'm mature
elevated.
enough now to not smuggle myself into the fitting room. You know what I mean? I simply told her, do that and, take a picture of every outfit and you show it to me when you come out. And I told her I had to go take a leak and I really had to take a shit because I've been eating my meals, like clockwork. So I went and, took a nice peaceful, non-rushed shit because I know women take, some time. That's another thing, guys. When you have experience with women, you start being able to estimate and guesstimate how much time things are going to take. Like, I know roughly about how late a girl's going to be for a date. I know about how long it takes for them to do their makeup. Like, you start to have a sixth sense with these type of things.
You've just been through it.
Yeah.
You've seen it enough times. You understand the archetype. Right. You understand what that outcome is going to look like.
And you learn how to compensate for things. Like, you tell a girl 8, she ain't going to be ready till 8:30. You're already.
It's the guaranteed 30.
Yeah, you already know.
There's a guaranteed 30.
Yeah. You gotta prepare for things, bro. If you're parking your car at the valet, you gotta give the guy extra $10, $20 or whatever.
They take care of you
to keep it up front.
They take care of you every time.
That way you don't have to wait for him to go way down West Bubblefuck to get. Come on, like all these little things. I want to say they come with experience, but they come with a combination of experience and mindset.
There you go.
Because there's guys that have done things over and over and over again.
You got a lot of people who are out there, they've lived a lot of life that they've never...
And it never occurred to them.
That's right.
To do this extra stuff.
That's right.
So, see, here's the thing, guys, right? You're thinking, Allende, if I just met a girl and I met her in the mall and then I bought her an outfit, that's simping. Not the way I did it. The way I said... No. Let me explain. The way I did it wasn't simping at all. Number one, I picked out the outfit that I genuinely wanted to see her in. That's number one. Number two, the outfit that I bought her was for the beach the next day. So that secured the date. Sure. Like, bitch, you're coming. Okay? And you're going to wear what I want you to wear. I bought her the outfit and I bought her the shoes to match. So I looked through her Instagram and saw her pictures. I told her how I wanted her hair done. I told her how I wanted her to do her makeup. You see what I'm trying to say?
I get exactly what you're saying.
It's on my terms is my point, guys. It's on my terms, right? My terms. After we finished shopping, I said to her, mind you, in my head, I'm already planning everything out step by step. I'm already in tomorrow.
Sure.
I'm with her today. I'm already planned as far as tomorrow. I'm planned as far as her getting on the plane.
As far as Monday leaving. Yeah,
exactly. I already planned her whole fucking weekend, right?
And that's probably what you wanted.
I could tell.
That's probably what she wanted, because you picked that up. Yeah,
she felt grateful that she fell into my lap. Like, okay, I get to leave Miami with a really good experience because I'm obviously, her type or whatever.
Sure.
Because we talked about that.
Yeah.
So after we're at the cashier, then because she says to me when I said I was going to pay for her stuff, you know what she said to me? She said, "No, I pay for my own clothes." I said, "Well, listen, this is the thing. This outfit's not yours though. This outfit's mine. You're just going to wear it for me."
That's also a G move.
Right. So I said, you pay for what you want. I'm going to pay for what I want. She said, okay. So when we're at the register, I leaned over and I whispered in her ear. I said, "Are you hungry?" And she said, "Yes." I said, "Okay. From here, I'm going to take you somewhere. I know a place." She says, "Okay." The restaurant that I took her to, my friend owns it. a client. I have a client.
Sure.
I have a client that owns that restaurant. So
Good business to be in.
Right. So I already, when she wasn't paying attention, I had already took a $20 bill and got 20 singles. That way, when I'm in the restaurant, I'm shaking hands with everybody. Everybody I shake hands with, I got $2 in my palm of my hand. Right? So
it's another G move. Let's go.
Yeah. So the staff is,
right.
The staff already knows.
Because they know.
Right. So the meal's on the house. So for me to spend, $30 in there is nothing at this point.
Right.
I'm not paying for the food.
Right.
So now she doesn't know why, but I'm getting a different type of
the
attention.
Experience.
Right. A different type of energy. I tip the waitress good or whatever. She lights up. Everybody's happy. And then after we ate, I dismissed her. I said, so what are you going to go do now? Because I already had the night planned.
Right.
But I know that we have to separate. I have to let her go.
Correct.
You have to turn her loose, guys. You can't, come on. You can't. The distance makes the heart grow fonder.
There it is.
So now that she's having such a good time, I have to now give it that space.
Let the mind wander. You take the time. Now she's thinking about the next day. She's getting excited.
So she says, yeah, I'm supposed to go somewhere with my friend tonight. One of my friends' friends is supposed to have a birthday party. I said, fine. I said, so where am I walking you?
Nice.
Because you told me the hotel was closed. So I said, okay, I'm going to walk you to your hotel.
And that's the right move, too. That's respectful.
Right.
You make sure she gets home safe. Like, that's important.
Of course. Yeah, I walked her to her place. I gave her a kiss. I didn't do more than was necessary. Good. Just passing that physical boundary. Although she touched me first in the mall. So she
touched me first.
Right. She broke the touch barrier first.
Which is that's important to know.
No, it's very important.
Yeah, it's important to know.
Because with women, there's an attraction boundary that comes first. Then there's a trust boundary that comes next. And then there's a physical boundary, a touch boundary that comes after that. And then after the touch boundary, you're right in the end zone for the sexual boundary.
Now, how fast do those typically roll?
I think it has nothing to do with the time frame.
Sure.
It's all about the chemistry and the charisma. Sure. That's it. Yeah. That's what it is right there. I mean, I've talked to many of our professionals, if you know what I mean, and I've had any call girl that has worked at like in a major city, has been in any high-end establishments. They've all admitted to me that there was, clients where they instantly were attracted to the dude.
Sure. Like
instantly.
Yeah.
So the point that I'm trying to make is the same way a guy can instantly be sexually attracted to a girl, like, oh my God, I would do her. Women equally, feel the same way.
I think it's really silly that we think that men are more sexual than women. I would say that women are more sexual than men.
Yeah, because the difference is with women, the priority is quality.
Correct.
With men, the priority is variety and quantity.
Sure.
Right? Because it doesn't matter how beautiful a girl is or whatever. You will get tired of sleeping with her immediately. This is the thing that's crazy, right? About guys sexually. Right, and I hope most of you have enough experience with vagina to know what I'm saying. That with guys, lack of options will make you tired of a option. If you have multiple options, you will not get tired of your options because you have a rotation to keep it, you're good. But when you're limited to the one girl, that's when you get tired of it quick because you're like, you know what I mean? So with women, it's different. With women, if the guy is measuring up in all departments, they aren't really thinking about another guy. They could even see another guy and be like, he's hot or whatever. But for right now, I'm good.
There's a default in terms of most people playing inside of a serial monogamous type of approach, and women do in that type of constraint typically prioritize that type of relationship, that type of intention, where once they find someone that meets their needs, they check the boxes, they have the exchange that they're seeking, that they are confident and that meets anything that they were looking for. And then they prioritize building inside of that partnership rather than
then they start to get possessive about
That's
it.
correct. And they found what they wanted. Right. So that's them.
And they're like, I'm not going to let another bitch take this.
Well, when it's security, like go back to your base instincts, right? And that's exactly like, hey, this is mine, and it's the objectification.
That's why I tell these guys,
which is a problem.
Listen, the orgasm is so important.
That's a fact. You should say that again.
No, because
that's real important.
This is the thing, but like I said, I make it my business to talk to women. And one thing that has always been a huge advantage for me is that I'm predisposed with making sure that the women climax. Always before I do. Always. And the point that I'm trying to make
at least
is,
once.
Right. The point is when I go in, that is a necessity every single time. And I'm telling you right now, that sounds so standard, but it's not. Like I said, I talk to women. Most women, majority of the times, they do not climax.
They don't.
And
majority, it's so sad.
Right. And majority of the guys.
Better. Oh my God.
Majority of the guys that they've been with did not make them climax. And even the guys that have made them climax, majority of the times they had sex, they didn't climax. So when you're a guy that's the polar opposite of that you're gonna make every girl climax, and you're always gonna make her climax every time, it becomes a completely different ball game. And the way I look at it is it's work. I look at it like any other job that you're doing. Think about it. If you came to fix the sink, you don't leave until you actually fix the sink. It might take you 20 minutes as a plumber to fix the sink. It might take you 3 hours to fix the sink.
Make sure it's done.
Right. The point is you have to fix the fucking sink. And there's been times, maybe not so much as of recently, but in my earlier years, because I've had this logic my entire sexual life simply because I lost my virginity to an older female. And that was the whole point of her letting me. It was her. It wasn't me. Like, she kidnapped. She was like, it was a snow day. And she was like, yo, your parents are home? She's like, you got crib? I was like, ain't nobody home in my crib. She's like, we're going to your place. I was like, I was 17, she was 19. I was like, all right. And like, I wasn't done until she was done.
Sure.
So from that point, that's how I was imprinted. So every female I had ever been with since my first time, in my mind, like, I had to make them come.
Sure.
Most guys don't think like that. Most guys, they go into the sex just to please themselves.
I think it's important to address being able to meet your partner's needs and prioritizing your partner. Like, I think that's a beautiful thing. I don't think of it as work, though. I think of it as fun. Like, it's an element of play where we're exchanging.
What I meant was it's work.
Yeah.
Is the times when it's not.
Yeah, got it.
When it's not like easy or something. Because there's been times where it gets frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn, it's been an hour and I'm trying all these different things. And then I'm like, so what normally makes you come? And the girl's like, oh, no, I've never come with a guy before. And you're like, fuck. Great. You know, say great. What the fuck I'm going to do with that? Like, you're not giving me nothing to work with. I was like, all right, so how do you play with yourself? And then I'm trying to figure out what's the stimulation that she does when she play. So that's why I said sometimes it becomes work.
Got it.
Because I'm like,
Got it.
I'm here for a long time now, and I can't get mine till she gets hers.
Sure. Now, are you okay with not getting yours, though?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah, see, I'm okay with that.
Well,
I'm totally fine with it.
Here's the thing. I've said I am, but I really not sure if I was. Like, I thought maybe I would be, but then, I did. Like, the girl, maybe changed her mind or whatever. Or maybe she was just calling my bluff to begin with.
Sure.
So sometimes you agree to that, and then you're like, shit. If she holds me to that,
right,
then I'm fucked because I already agreed to it.
Sure.
But none of the girls have ever held me to that.
Yeah.
So they might have said that because you come in with that I'm a pleaser game.
Right. And then.
Right. I had a chick recently with that. I had to kick that game.
It's tough.
I had to kick that game because she wasn't trying to let me smash.
It's like, historically, this
right. But she was telling me how horny she is and she's so frustrated and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I get it because the boyfriend cheated on her and she had to break up with him. So now she's left hanging when she was used to getting a routine fix. So I said, listen, I'm at your disposal if, because we didn't have that type of relationship. But she was, she's cute, she's hot.
Sure.
But I don't have a problem staying in my box. You get what I'm trying to say?
I get it completely.
Right, but if you're going to have that conversation with me, I'm going to treat it just like the broken sink.
Sure.
If a girl's telling me like she has an issue with a tire.
I'm here to help.
Right, I'm like, well,
I'm just here to help.
I can come change your tire.
It's altruism, baby.
Right, so if the issue happens to be a vaginal issue, well, I can handle that too.
Oh my
right?
God.
So I was just offering
your services.
Right, I was offering my services.
Yeah.
And
you're a talented man.
She got into the whole realm of, like, I want to, but I just met you and I don't know you that well, and then I'm gonna feel awkward and I know I'm gonna regret it later and da 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 da. And I let her do all of that. I just let her do that for a while. And then when she was done, I said, well, you do know that we do have other options. And then she's like, what? So I sent her. I sent her like a screen recording of this like super hot chick with a dude going down on her. The background, everything was hella elegant.
Sure.
It was as tasteful of porn
As it could be.
as porn could be.
Yeah.
And it was like a 4-second clip. And there was candles lit in the background and everything. It was dim lighting. Some real tasteful shit, right?
You gotta have that stock. You gotta have that ready.
No, I did it. It took me a while to find that.
Not everyone can, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You gotta have that
I was on
ready.
2 different phones. I was texting on one phone and searching on the other, right? So I sent it to her, and because I know how visual women are, but I knew not to send the picture. Guys, when you're trying to get a woman aroused, do not send pictures. Always opt for videos. The science has been done. For whatever reason, women are more aroused by things in motion than still images.
I think that's people.
No.
Really?
Because when studying guys, the stimulation was equal.
Interesting.
With still shots and actual video.
I'm shocked.
Right, it's equal. But with women, even watching animals turns them on more than men watching animals.
Well, that makes sense, actually.
I guess.
I mean, think of how women respond to cats and dogs and just like animals in general. Like, I feel like women significantly respond differently.
Because the level of empathy?
Maybe? It might be the maternal instinct.
It's just weird.
It is weird. Definitely weird.
The point is, though, for whatever reason, video stimulates them more. So
I mean,
right, and I made sure to keep the clip short.
For me personally, video stimulates me more. Like, if I had to pick between image, video, I choose video every time.
No, me too.
All right, well, we know it's 2-2.
I don't know, man.
It's 100% based on this census.
I just read a couple studies on it, and I said, "Fuck it."
I respect it.
I put it into the
We need to put it back to study.
But see, here's the thing, though. Either way, if it's both men and women, which
Yeah.
for whatever reason, the study said men were stimulated the same amount.
Yep.
Maybe it was the sample group. Maybe the sample group was really horny.
Could be.
I don't know.
I mean, actually.
But what I do know is either way, women are stimulated more by video.
Respect.
So ever since I read those few studies, from that point on, I only sent like videos. When women ask for pictures, I'm like, fuck that. I'm stroking it 2 times.
Here's the video.
It's gonna at least be a boomerang, goddammit. So I said that, right? And she was so it definitely turned it up a notch.
Sure.
And then she tried to like, no, I can't, the whole thing, whatever, because she's like, I can't just have you come here, blah, blah, blah. She was like, unless I come there.
It's so weird.
And I'm like, you can. You can, right?
I despise those games. I really do, because consent is such an important thing that you can feel the tension.
No, I could feel that she was genuine in what she was going through.
Yeah.
Because you have to understand, like, we only had known each other for maybe a week prior.
Sure.
And we only saw each other a few times. Like, I went and had coffee with her a few times, but we never were on that page.
Sure.
I actually was trying to get her to come on the fucking podcast. I met her walking her dog.
Nice.
Invited her to come on the podcast, and it didn't go there. We just exchanged numbers, and she was like, I would love to continue this conversation. But she didn't agree to an interview. She just thought the conversation was so stimulating. So I said, fuck it, I can get this girl to come on. So that was the nature of the discussion.
Interesting.
And then every time that I would be going, like, in her neighborhood, I would, like, send her a text, like, I'm going to be out there. And she's like, I'm super busy, I'm working, but I would love to see you again. So one of those times, she was like, well, what time? Because I'm going to try to make time for you. So she made what she said was going to be an hour, but it ended up being a couple of hours. And that's at the moment that I decided I would fuck this chick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, she really is cute. And now she's growing on me, right?
Sure. Well, you have that relationship starting to brew, right? There's some form of connection kindling.
Because I'm always compartmentalizing. That's the thing.
Sure.
Because, see, guys, they just see cute girl and they think that right away. I've learned that there's so many more things that you can, like, get networking with women that are more valuable.
Way more important.
Right. Like,
way more important.
No, honestly, all jokes aside, I thought she was more valuable to the channel because of her relationship, like what she does for a living, how much money she makes, her situation. I felt like it would have been a very valuable interview.
Sure.
And I look at my content as going to be classic because it's in the catalog. It's there forever.
Sure.
So I don't want to be trying to smash a chick and then next thing you know, I can't get the interview or now the interview. You see what I'm trying to say?
It's there's something that changes
I don't
when you engage in that way without communicating intentionally. Right.
Right. So I was prioritizing the interview. It wasn't until she kept like basically saying she doesn't know when she's going to have time, she's not sure this or that we started getting to these other conversations. So when she was like, okay, no, I can't, you're killing me or whatever. I'm like, listen, it's fucking 2 a.m. It's like 1:45 in the morning. All right. So I was like, listen, it is what it is. You know what it was? This is very important. I left this out, guys. This is very important for context. It was her birthday. That's why I offered myself, because in my mind I was thinking, I know women, and on a woman's birthday, the last thing she wants is to have to accept that she isn't going to get some good birthday sex. Trust me, I know this from working at a fucking nightclub for years. When it's a woman's birthday, she wants everything. She wants gifts, she wants cake, she wants to drink, she wants to have great sex, she wants all of it. So I was really being considerate of that.
Of course.
Right, because I was like,
how could you not?
Right, I was thinking, fuck it, come tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Shit, this is going to be fucked up for you, right? So that's why.
You're such a generous guy.
Right. So that was where the sense of the urgency was. That's the only reason why I came at her like that. Okay? Because I could tell that she was sexual. I could feel the sexual tension. So I called it out. I was like, you're backed up, aren't you? And she's like, yes. Yes.
Yes,
like, how did you know, right?
Oh
so
God.
that's what I was telling her. I was
Funny.
like, listen, the choice is yours. I'm offering myself to you. I'm just letting you know it's time sensitive, because it's your birthday. And she says to me, see, that's the part that throws me off. I'm like, what's that? She's like, what's the catch? I'm like, baby, there is no catch. And she's like, there's always a catch. With every guy, there's a catch. I said, okay, listen, if you want me to be honest with you, if there is a catch, the catch is that problem solving, I believe, is a very masculine trait. And I like the validation of being able to do these things for a woman. I'm good at it. And I'm not gonna lie and say there isn't any type of gratification that comes from that.
Sure.
From being that guy, being the service guy.
Catches, I'm also winning.
Right? I had to throw that in there. Yeah. I am a pleaser.
Sure.
So I'm more invested in pleasing the woman than myself. But then again, they're intertwined, because that is what pleases me, is knocking that pussy down. When I know that they came and it's the best and all that, that's what works for me.
Sure.
So she was still struggling with that. So she's like, I think I'm just gonna take a cold shower and I'm just gonna go to bed. And she said, if not, then I'm just gonna have to service myself. It wouldn't be the first time. And then I said, okay. I said, well, keep this in mind. She says, what? I said, again, we still have options. Because the option I gave her was pleasing her and not doing anything myself, right? So it's like, you're gonna turn that down, right? But she's saying is if I came over there, she wasn't gonna be able to control herself, right? So I said, we do still have yet more options. And she's like, what? What more options do we have than that? And I said, because she was like downstairs, so I FaceTimed her from another phone. So she said, are you FaceTiming me right now? I said, yes. So she answered the phone. She was on the couch with her dog. So I told her, I said, go upstairs. I said, go upstairs. Don't wake the fucking dog up, because I already know how your dog is. Because that dog is a huge cock block. Every time I see her, the dog's like all jumping on me and trying to knock me down. She's a big ass Labrador. So I was like, get from under the dog and go upstairs to your bedroom without waking up the dog. Because he would go up there with her and then,
Sure.
So she does that. So she goes upstairs into her room. And I says, okay. I said, light a candle or put a lamp on or something so I can see her. So I can see you. So see, guys, you have to know how to... See, a lot of you motherfuckers be thinking, how do you get from this to this? Not by, like, getting her to agree to it. Certain things you don't get into conversation because you're going to fuck it up. Like if I had said to her, oh, I have this other idea. What we could do is phone sex and we could FaceTime and you could play with your pussy. Like if I said that, it would kill the entire fucking, the whole shit, right? So I couldn't even ask her permission to FaceTime her. I had to just straight up do it from another phone while on the phone with her.
Sure. And so you already were on the phone with her, right? So consent was already there. You're active in conversation.
Right, I have two phones.
Right, that's exactly
right. So I FaceTimed her from the other phone, and when she answered that one, I hung up the phone that I was talking to her on.
Sure.
So when she went upstairs and she went and turned on a lamp or whatever.
How did we get here?
Right, so dim light, right? So I tell her, get comfortable or whatever, and I said, put your hand down here, all right? So you guys know where I'm going with this, right? So while she's doing that, I put my shit on a tripod.
Happy birthday.
Right, I put my shit on a tripod. Right, so she gets to fucking with herself. So you already know she wants to see some meat, right? So for sake of time, we're gonna cut through all the logistics, and we're gonna get to the end result. The end result was me throwing some sweats on with no underwears, grabbing the condoms and the lubes, and jumping in a fucking Uber because I'm not gonna waste time looking for parking on South Beach. That's called thinking ahead.
Pro tip.
Pro tip right there. I already know. You go to South Beach that time of night, you're not gonna find no fucking parking in a residential area. So I jumped in a goddamn Uber, let the Uber drop me off. I went up there and I took care of business. You know, bottle of wine, condoms, lube, got to work.
It's appropriate. Yeah, no, the escapades are absolutely A1. My man nailed it.
Scrambled eggs and turkey bacon in the morning.
Creative. Problem solver. Again, the ability to creatively solve problems will just serve you in every aspect of life.
You have to be prepared. I got this from Oprah. I don't like Oprah, but one thing Oprah said that I did agree with
Oprah?
is preparation, okay, meets opportunity.
That's luck, baby.
Equals luck.
That's right. That's the definition. That is the definition.
Now you have to think for a second. I told you guys I had been talking to this girl for 10 days prior. And none of this shit was going to go nowhere. I wasn't even thinking that way, neither was she. But her birthday was the opportunity. Me being in shape and having a big dick was the preparation. Right? And the game. In the game.
It really can be that easy.
I had the game for it, right?
Yeah.
So what I'm trying to say is if it was another guy, he didn't have those three components, he wouldn't have been prepared. Yeah. Her birthday comes around once a year regardless. Her boyfriend cheating on her, 3 weeks prior, you know what I mean? And her breaking up with him a week and a half prior, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That just was the opportunity that presented itself. He fucked up, making her available on her birthday. She walked the dog. I cold approached, right? My God. So what I'm trying to say is, guys, you will be quote unquote lucky if you line all these things up like I've been telling you fuckers. Line these things up. First thing you need to do is jump in my 100-day Get Shredded challenge. Yeah, I'm gonna keep reminding you guys because this is how it starts. And you know what? I'm gonna be so real with you because she kept on bringing focus to the striations in my quads. She was like,
You're
look at the separation.
Dude. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
That's what I'm trying to say. It made a difference.
Yeah, it does.
Right? It made a difference. It does. In her arousal level. So you guys can downplay it all you want. You think expensive restaurants would have made her box wet? You think me buying her a gift would have made her box wet? If I gave her a birthday gift, that would have been simping. No matter how much she liked the gift, she wouldn't have been like, oh my God, you know what? I owe you for this Tiffany bracelet. So let me just jump on your throbbing cock because you bought me this gift, you strange man I just met 10 days ago.
Mother of God, let's hope not.
But being in shape bypassed the 10 days. It bypassed her being in corporate. It bypassed her being a good girl and all that other stuff. Because I'm telling you right now, she wasn't that type of girl. That's the crazy thing. Yeah. She was the reserved, good family, blah, blah, blah. Been with the same guy for forever long and not promiscuous. She was all of that. But what I'm trying to tell you is they have their moments, but it's timing. And I'm not telling you guys to wait around on any girl's window. I'm telling you, get your punk ass in shape, number one. Start learning some game. Number two, start planting plenty of seeds. That way, this might grow, that might grow, that might grow, and who knows how much fruit you're going to bear. The point is, the seeds are planted, something's going to grow. The more seeds you plant is the higher the chances are for you to have a good harvest. Just keeping it real with you. If I had never spoken to her, none of this could have ever happened. And if I wasn't in the shape that I needed to be, she probably wouldn't have stopped to talk to me when she was walking the dog in the first place.
Yeah. Right? Just know what crops you're selecting to plant. That's all I say. Just be thoughtful with what you're planting.
Here's the thing, though. I like variety. So you might want to plant some radishes, some tomatoes, some aloe vera, some sugar cane, some pineapples, some apples, some lemons, some oranges, some peaches. I mean, I would say plant a little bit of everything, maybe.
As long as you know what you like. If you like all that, that's what's good.
You might not know what you like till you try it.
Amen. If you don't know what you like, you gotta get as soon as you tasted it, though, you know. I agree 100%.
You know what I'm saying?
I get that.
You gotta know. And she moved too. That's another thing, guys. She was moving. She was moving in like a week and a half. She was a transplant from New York, only here working remotely because of the COVID or whatever, right? So she's gone now. I spoke to her yesterday. She's in I forget where. She's wherever the fuck her parents live. So she's not even in New York.
Sure.
Right? The point is, that's going to be an interesting little link in the future because at some point in time, she's going to want to do it again. And another thing, if you lay pipe to a girl on her birthday and you take care of business.
She'll never forget.
Right. If it's not your girl, especially if you knew her for little time prior to the birthday.
She's not forgetting.
Every year that she's single, you can slide.
Jesus Christ.
I'm telling you this from experience.
I know, that's why I said that.
There's literally girls that I have only seen on certain holidays or their birthdays. Like there's girls that I've slid them on Christmas because I don't celebrate pagan holidays, and they might not have had any family in the state. So for that reason, again, opportunity presented itself, and I was like, well, listen, you don't have any family here. You're spending Thanksgiving alone, or you're spending Christmas alone, right? So we'll spend it together. I'm gonna knock it down, right? And now every Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever day it was that I knocked it down, she's gonna think of me. Yeah. Either I'm gonna send the text first or she's gonna send the text first. And the text is gonna read something like this: "Hey stranger, what you doing on Turkey Day?" And then her response is gonna be something like, "You, Daddy."
Oh my God.
And that's the only time I'm gonna see the chick is every Thanksgiving.
Oh, mother of God.
Seeds, plant them and fertilize them.
You, sir, are a farmer.
I want guys to enjoy life.
Amen.
Let me tell you something. This is why I get so irritated when guys put negative comments about women in the chat. It pisses me the fuck off because it doesn't matter if it's true or not. That's irrelevant. The point is you're doing yourself a disjustice by looking at women as this bad or this evil or girls, we don't need them. Listen,
dreadful. Why would you ever do that?
They make life better. They make
so much better.
Listen, tell me.
Women make everything better.
That's what I'm saying. Do you want to go on a cruise with a bunch of dudes?
No.
You want to go on a cruise, just a bunch of dudes and cigars?
Nope.
I don't want to go anywhere where there's no women.
Period.
That's why I desperately do not want to go back to prison because they were
Mother
only
of God.
ugly COs there. There was only ugly ass correction officers there. That's it. The only females there were like the cafeteria lady, and it reminded me of boarding school because it was the same shit. Either ugly old teachers or ugly cafeteria ladies. That's it.
Don't go back.
You don't want to be there. So what I'm trying to say is you have to find your way to enjoy your environment.
Amen.
Don't worry about what all the other women are doing. Just figure out what you need to do to put yourself in a position where you can get lucky consistently. And have your memories, have your experiences, because that's all you got, bro.
Yeah. Create a life worth living. You have to. You must. Yes. It's what you're called to. It's our responsibility as men to fulfill our inner purpose.
Yes.
And this journey is our ability to navigate what that time looks like, what that contribution to society could be, and how we can build ourselves and architect ourselves to be able to reach that potential and fulfill that purpose. And that's your life's work.
With that being said, I'm going to finally introduce him now because you guys are in the chat, and I'm going to let him tell you about what he's just talking about because that's what he be talking about, right?
Because I talk about stuff like that.
So hold on, let me get you on right now. All right, so I'm going to introduce my brother right here, okay, my boy Mark, and go ahead and tell us who are you, how old are you, where are you from, and what the hell do you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Mark Lombardi. I'm 29 years old. I'm from Tampa Bay, Florida. I live in Miami and St. Petersburg. I split time between the two. I studied entrepreneurship. I've been an entrepreneur for the last decade. Deep in technology. I'm a musician. Play piano, sax, guitar, drums, vocals. I practice capoeira as a martial art. I built and sold a couple companies in web development, automation consulting. And right now I own a technology company. I'm actively working in startups as an advisor and a builder. And more importantly, and why I'm here is I'm in the process of forming an organization called Team Gent. And the intention is to be able to contribute to the young men out there who are looking to be able to build themselves into a better version of themselves, to raise the collective bar of men in our society, and to be able to provide some insight and some guidance to people who are either finding themselves a little lost, finding themselves in pursuit of something bigger than themselves that they'd like some assistance with, and really just trying to raise the collective conscious as a whole.
All right, that sounds pretty like close to what I want to do, but like in your own way. But yeah, I definitely want guys to start building their tribe. I want guys to build themselves, learn how to be a team player, learn how to be of benefit, an asset to the group. And I think there's a lot of satisfaction that comes from that as a man, knowing
100%.
that you're part of a team and that people need you, people depend on you, people count on you. And I'm always telling guys about that continuity. I mean, imagine winning something, but you won it all by yourself. No team members, no coach, no mentor, no father, no brother, no nothing, right? That only would have immense value if you're used to having won with those things, and now you get the experience of winning something by yourself. I did it all on my own. That was awesome. But if you only have that, then you're gonna miss the ladder. Right. So I want guys to start valuing one another.
Amen.
And I see that missing. Guys walk right past a construction site. They don't head nod nobody. They're not fascinated with what these guys are capable of. But yet you enjoy the contributions of other men on a daily basis. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't even occur to you this contribution that's being made by other men. But at the same time, we're complaining that women aren't recognizing our value and our contribution. It's like, did it ever occur to you that maybe they're not because we're not?
There it is. Yeah, I mean, I think that you must acknowledge that we are standing on the shoulders of giants.
Exactly.
And so for the people who have come before us, who have created the opportunity, who have manufactured the goods, the supply chain, the logistics, all of the products, all of the technology that we're using was built by this generation prior and the generations prior. And you said a word that was really important, is contribute. And that's one of three modalities that I've identified that are really important to team dynamics. One is collaborate, one is compete, and one is contribute. And you're going to find yourself in one of those three stages based on where you are in your group, in your team, in your own level of maturity in regards to how you approach or how you engage with the world. And so for us to be able to come back together and acknowledge the greatness in each other, to be acknowledge the progress made from step A to B to Z, regardless of what activity you're participating in, is critical to our ability to then build the next thing. We have to make it through that, and the support of that group and that community and that contribution is what drives us forward. Nothing done independently ever has any, long-lasting impact. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. And the concept of being able to build something as a collective is all we truly have. I actually don't build things alone. I don't believe it works well. You have blind spots naturally, no matter how good you are.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, I think I'm one of the best in the world at the things that I do, that you're naturally going to have blind spots. And it's, as great leaders, it's our responsibility to identify the core values that are shared between the people we're building with, to effectively create incentives to get people excited and to have long-lasting partnerships, empower people to make the strategic decisions that they are competent in making, and to establish boundaries so the collective and the group is protected as a tribe so you can move forward. And those are the things that we typically talk about.
That and valuing the differences that you have.
Amen.
Let me get over here real quick and see what's going on. I want to thank Mr. All In for the $5 European, or €5, I should say, €5 super chat. He said proper game, man. Yeah, I mean, listen, all I could do is tell the truth. That's all I could do. It's like Nas said, I ain't got no game. These hoes just understand my story. So that's what I'm looking for, is that truth that we all can kind of like gain from, because I don't want guys to do what I did. I want you to just use it as inspiration to do what you do, and always be creative, because my best memories seem to have something in common, a component of my creativity. Like something just coming to my mind, like a director, like someone writing a script. I'm like, ooh, it'd be so cool if I was able to pull this off. Yeah. Like, I'm gonna try to do this real quick and let me see if it works.
Well, you had that opportunity to contribute, right? That goes right back to something was incepted, like you had this compelling desire to contribute into it, and then when you validated it, it gave you that spark to say, I knew it. Like, there was a level of certainty and that confirmation that allowed you to move forward on it. And then everyone else was able to build from there too, if others were involved.
Well, I gotta be competitive. So it's like, if I don't have,
you can tell,
right? Or I don't have like a friend to compete with. If I'm by myself, then I feel like I gotta compete with myself.
Sure.
I gotta like one up myself.
Which is, I mean, if you're talking about the levels of mastery, that is the top level in regards to competitive mastery, is to being able to continuously one up yourself.
Yeah, I mean, my dudes coming up, the dudes I chill with in high school, we were relentlessly competitive.
Yeah, I bet.
Like how guys nowadays be like bros over hoes. Like, nah. If we both like the same chick, what you did was you confronted each other about it. It was like, oh, I heard you trying to fuck with Shakira. I'm saying, what? Why? What's up? You hating?
Oh man.
Nah, dude. You know I'm trying to do something. Like, listen, bro. May the best man win.
And that was the beautiful thing when you actively engage.
That was always the attitude.
Sure.
But what I realized after the fact is that we had a very tight like in group, so we were always observing the people that were out. You know, like I was hanging out with Freemasons and all kind of shit. So we just had a different perspective. We were reading books about the Black Panther. Cool. So we already knew like what we're thinking and what we're observing is not like with the mainstream. So right. We already knew we're like on the outskirt. Amen. Right? So we're looking at everyone else and observing the behaviors. And like I realized at that point, like, yo, maybe this is why guys be like jealous or envious or like grudgeful. If another chick is messing with a chick that you wanted to mess with, like, for me, it didn't make any sense. Sure. Because I'm thinking there's a level of hypocrisy there. Because how could you be upset with him for doing what you wanted to do? So either he bested you. I love that you called it out. Or you didn't move.
There are too many people who are okay with the idea and the actions that enable hypocrisy. And that is a fundamental problem.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, get in the game. Because if you wanted her, and you didn't move on it, then the lesson learned is, damn, she was available. Like it obviously could have been done because he's doing it. Right. Damn, why didn't I move? And if you did move, and she chose, then you got bested.
Be better.
Right, dust yourself off and try again.
Beat that.
Like either way, there's a lesson to be learned.
Correct.
But I would just see dudes wallow in this like hate and this jealousy and envy, and that shit was weird to me. I'm like, how you gonna be mad talking about I don't like that dude? Like, why you don't like him? I don't know, I just don't like him.
No, that's
anytime bullshit. You don't know
you
why
don't like you.
Right, exactly. If you don't know, you can't explain why you don't like someone, then there's jealousy or envy there. Yeah. There's some type of,
and you gotta let all that shit go.
Right, you gotta let it go because it'll hold you back. And I just see a lot of guys nowadays basically like describing their own demise, like, oh, it's because, you know, this guy's tall, or, you know, I don't have enough money, or I'm too short, or I'm too ugly, or I'm too lazy. And I'm just like, what is going on nowadays? I wasn't allowed to even talk like that. Sure. It would never even occur to me to mouth those words.
Right. Well, it's a different generation. It's a different lifestyle. Completely different cultures.
Right. If I say out loud, like, I'm lazy.
Careful with using those words.
Yeah, like it could never be phrased that way.
Right.
It would probably be like, yo, I'm being mad lazy right now. Like I need to snap out of it. Yeah. Like I need to tighten up. Tomorrow I'm getting up at 6. Fuck it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it would be me calling myself out. It wouldn't be me like accepting that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, you can't affirm those types of sentiments.
Right.
And anytime you use I am, you are like creating an amplified version of accepting whatever that next sentiment is, no matter what it is.
Like the people that beat you, you have to make them an ally. Like anybody that's ever beat me in something, I'm like, yo, I gotta make this person my friend. like no, for real. Like if
we're making allies out here. Yeah.
If someone beats me, I'm like, yo, I gotta figure out
respect. What
was he doing that I wasn't doing.
That's right.
And I've made a lot of really good friends over the years with that thought process.
It's a great thought.
Even if I'm trying to get a girl,
you're doing the same thing. You're covering your blind spot. Right. That's what it is.
I'm like, I gotta figure out what he's doing. What's he saying? Who does he know? And a lot of times, people that are successful in things don't mind sharing.
Sure.
They don't mind sharing. They don't mind helping. And it's not a secret. It's just something you didn't know. Is it different? Like everybody thinks it's like some kind of secret. It's not a secret.
I love that.
It's just something you didn't know.
It's not a secret. It's just something you didn't know.
Right, exactly.
That's real good.
And you can
I'm going to put that in the pocket. That's good.
A lot of times you can ask people, but what I noticed is most people ask the wrong question.
It comes down to the question, period. And they ask yes or no questions.
That too. They always ask short questions. And it's like, if you're, like, for example, you're asking a person a question about something along their journey, it's probably not the right question. You should probably either ask a question pertaining to the beginning of the journey or the end. So either ask them what's their destination or ask them what was their inspiration, what was their starting point. And that's a much better way to get the ball rolling.
If you're going from a cold start?
Right, exactly. To figure out what it is that you need to know.
Yeah. If you don't have that context already. The other thing I would add to that is if you are going to tackle the inside, go a couple layers deep. So one of the things you do is go 3 to 5 whys deep. So if you have something specific on the inside, ask yourself why would they have done that? Why would they have done that? Get to that abstraction that's a little bit deeper so they can tell you've actually thought through this a little bit more, not something that's surface level that isn't going to really create value for them, you, and or anyone listening. Though the beginning and the end do make sense from a cold start. I'd agree.
Well, because here's the thing. When people ask a question that's like in the middle somewhere, my guess is that you're trying to skip something. You're trying to skip some type of work. There's some type of work or some type of sacrifice, you know what I mean, that you're trying to skip. You're trying to cut the fucking line. You want this person to have done the work for you so that they can tell you something up here to spare you that work.
I actually take it differently. I think the person's going to ask the question based on where they are. And if that person's already went through that process, they're going to see at what point that context could be provided so they could shed light on how they can move forward from where they are.
But I still feel like you're not respectful for what that person had to do to get
and
there.
that's the piece. Like
why are you trying to skip? Why are you trying to skip what, you know?
Respect the whole journey.
Right. Yeah. Because you're over here looking at, them in a good place. But we were talking earlier before cameras were rolling about human incentive and how the human mind makes its decisions and comes to that. So I want you to talk a little bit about that, and then also maybe give some advice and some insight on networking, because I know that's a really strong point for you.
Would love to. Yeah. So in regards to incentives and decision making, right? So we'll start with incentives. Incentives are vast, right? So we all actually are motivated by a variety of different activities, a variety of different resources. If we talk incentives, there's a certain level of resources. Most people think it's just financial, so it's capital. Capital is one form of resource, though it's not the only thing. So one of the working theses that we're working through is saying, what are the things that matter to people that get them or inspire them to take action? And if you look at people working jobs, it's, insurance, protection. Whether that's health related, whether that's for your own life, whether that's for your family, your children, your tribe, etc. Health, wellness, all of these are forms of resources. Paid time off, the ability to have those perks. Regardless of what that is, there's different things that motivate, incentivize you to be able to make a contribution. So being mindful with how you have architected your incentive structure influences how we make decisions. And decisions are made in a couple ways. One, there's conscious decisions. So you have something called a conscious competence, to where you are in a position or a role that you have the authority to be able to have autonomy to make the decision, meaning you are the person responsible, the collective knows you're responsible, and you have complete autonomy, i.e. decision-making ability. That is rare. The people who actually need to make decisions or need to influence the decision-making often don't have that so clearly. And so the ability to create clarity in those more ambiguous or undefined moments is a really important thing. So that's where active communication comes in, and the ability to ask better questions, as you was talking about, is one of the fundamental skills that you can actually be able to deliver to create better outcomes for your teams and for the people. So understanding the roles in your team, understanding the skills of the people on your team or the skills that you have is one of the fundamental things you can do to make better decisions, because realistically you want competent people making the decisions for you. I'm going to work with you so you could help me make my body better because I'm not a bodybuilder. I haven't spent my life doing that. I'm new to it. And at the same time, I'd imagine you would probably want me to help you build a technology company or a SaaS-based platform because I've done it. And so you want to be able to give the decision-making authority to the people who have both expertise and aptitude to make that decision most effective as possible. The example I often give is, if there is an asteroid coming to Earth, and you get to pick one person you want to try and solve that problem, who do you pick?
Oh, well, obviously like an astronaut or someone who's been in space.
So someone who's been in space is a good criteria. I'm picking Elon Musk.
Oh, yeah.
Like if I have to pick one homie.
An actual name,
So it's like we pick the competent people to do that. And so I think those two things are really important when we're talking through incentives and decisions. And then when we hit how to network, just at a top level, be interested, be a good human. I think being a good human is really forgotten about. I'll lead with that, saying if you actually care, like if you really care, and you're willing to be in the present moment, to let all of your personal thoughts, judgments, beliefs, just let them go, to listen generously and to give that person the attention and the understanding that you are with them in that moment, you're going to see a specific and significant increase in the kind of content and the conversation that is generated within that exchange.
They'll tell you something they normally don't tell people.
They don't tell anyone because no one's hearing.
I normally don't tell people this.
That's right.
I normally don't give people this insight and this, this insight.
No, because you shared up.
Trading information.
That's right. You showed up with that right energy, and you were interested, and you were engaging, and you'd ask a follow-up question. Right. You're not just trying to interject your own perspective or position. You're really hearing them, and then going a little bit deeper, inquiring about where they got that thought process from, how they came to that conclusion, how that experience lined up, and really just giving them space to express themselves is, I think, one of the best things that anyone could do if you're talking about networking. The other piece is to be thoughtful of where you're playing. Understand, if
the environment?
Right.
Okay.
Environment is everything. Why are you networking in the first place? Do you have an intention with what you're looking to be able to create or co-create? And if not, you should probably not show up until you have some form of understanding. I do recommend showing up. Most people don't do that. So even if you don't, it doesn't mean don't show up. They'll really try and put that effort in beforehand. And then when you get there, be as engaging as you can be. One of the things I also do is I try and walk away with at least one meaningful relationship from anywhere I go. And so ideally, if it's an event, you'll get to 3 really good conversations and 1 really good engagement, relationship that was established in that dynamic, in that event. When I was younger, I go back 5-10 years when I was emceeing, startup events and, introducing a bunch of people, thousands of people, just actively connecting, collaborating. It was great. It was surface level. Though as I've matured, I've really understood that if you can go deep with 1 to 3 people that ideally fit the archetype of people you're looking to recruit or collaborate with, you're going to get so much more value out of your networking experiences.
That, and learn to identify the most important, or I should say valuable, the most valuable person in the room to you, because obviously that's subjective, but what it is that you're looking for, learn to identify who the most valuable person for that is in any given environment. That way you can kind of start creating an A, B, C, D list of priority. It's like, listen, I gotta talk to this person before I leave, because you don't want to have had to have been to that event. That person was there and you didn't get a chance to speak to them. Right. And when people are in that higher status than you, and you need to meet them, the window of opportunity is going to be small.
Which means you got to come correct.
Right. It might be just an elevator ride.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It might just be you happen to be at the water fountain at the same time. You might go take a leak at the same time.
And one of the things that I think helps really well is to connect on values. If you have a small amount of time, connect on your deepest values that you've identified between each other. And then, as you were saying earlier, you leave that open door for something that's interesting to continue the conversation.
Yeah, don't rush it or push it. But I mean, the 48 Laws of Power is always a good book for that.
Robert Greene.
You're not going to get it reading it one time. I had to read that book 3 times, and I still can't remember most of the shit that's in that book. Every time I read that book, I feel like there's new parts in there. I'm like, wait a minute.
Because there are. It's the repetition of context.
Did they add to this book? But yeah, it's a tough read, but it depends on how you process information. The way that book is written, for me, it's actually very easy because I'm an anecdotal person myself.
Sure.
I work well, dealing with examples, stories that have characters in it and how they interacted with each other, and to teach the lesson or whatever, to display the concept. So I think that's awesome. But you guys are young. So you have a wealth of time. If you start cracking on these things early, you will be a master of them. I mean, if you're in your 20s, you can really, really start mastering a lot of these things by the time you get into your 30s. Fortunately for me, I went from spending a lot of time with older family members to making older friends.
Yeah.
So I always understood the value of people that were either advanced, that were my age. They were also advanced. My best friends were my 2 best friends both were advanced for their age, just like I was. So we could relate to each other. And we all had the mindset of knowing older people and interacting with older guys to know more and have more access, to be invited to places where our young asses normally wouldn't even be.
It's such a tragedy that we're missing that type of wisdom in our society collectively. Like the wisdom from our elders is not being passed down the same way that it was.
But you can seek it. That's what I'm trying to tell these guys. You have to kind of go and look for it. So because I kind of went out of my way to always have those older guys, just in being around them, just in associating with them, they were always doing older guy stuff. So when they would introduce me to people, it would be like, older, grown-up people.
Right.
So it's like I would go from just hanging out with my boy, maybe smoking some damn weed, talking to girls, going to events and whatnot, to next thing you know, he's introducing me to Naomi Campbell's Scout. So now he scouted me for modeling.
Yep.
So now I'm 16, 17, and I'm already modeling for a model agency. But that wouldn't have happened if Jermaine didn't introduce me to Daniel. That wouldn't have happened.
Isn't it amazing how fast that happens? You have to be in the right room.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So then he also introduced me to another friend of his who was a choreographer. And he was the dude that won the Grammy for choreographing Britney Spears' first music video.
Cool.
Right? So because he knows people at Interscope,
of course.
Now I'm an intern at Interscope. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm meeting 50 Cent, I'm meeting Eminem, I'm meeting Dame Dash, I'm meeting Jay-Z and Memphis Bleak. And so it's like, my point is, guys, is the same way I tell you have to cold approach women because you don't know where it's going to lead, is the same way you got to cold approach dudes. No pause.
There's no need cold approach life.
There's no need for me to put no pause on it, okay? Because the dude that I'm talking about that introduced me to these people, I cold approached him.
Yeah.
And the way we met each other is the craziest story. I'm not proud of it, but I'm just being honest. I'm just being transparent. We were in Harlem. We both were from Brooklyn, but we were both in Harlem at a jewelry store at the same exact time. He was looking at jewelry. I was looking at jewelry. The dude was passing him jewelry. The dude was passing me jewelry. I looked at him. He looked at me. The Jewish dude went over there for something. I looked at him again. He looked at me again. I looked at the door. He looked at the door. We ran. We ran. I had some jewelry in my hand. He had some jewelry in his hand. We ran. We bolted. We ran on the steps into the subway. And then we get down to the train platform. And we're both out of breath. And he's like, yo, what's up? I'm like, what's up? He's like, what's your name, little man? I'm like, yo, they call me Scully. I'm like, what's your name? He's like, yo, my name's Jermaine, but they call me Maine. I'm like, yo, where you taking the train to? He was like, Brooklyn. I live in Brooklyn. I was like, yo, son, I'm getting on the train too. I'm going to Brooklyn. He's like, word? He's like, yeah, I'm getting on the A train. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm getting to the A train. I'm like, oh shit, we get on the same train. Go, get the fuck up out of here. So we get on the train, we sit down, we're out of breath. We both cracking up. We look and say, let me see what you got. Let me see what you got. We're comparing the jewelry. We're looking at each other like, yo, it's crazy. It's crazy, bro. It's like, man, I just knew what you was thinking. He's like, motherfucker, I looked at your eyes. I knew exactly what you was thinking. I'm like, I don't know how this motherfucker was slipping. He was like, yeah, man, we called him slipping. That's how we met each other.
That's insane. That's literally wild.
That's how we met each other.
You know, at the beginning, I was gonna make this really like thoughtful. I said, you know, you shared values. Like the best way to make friends is by sharing values, and you both value jewelry. Lo and behold.
But you know, it was like that was neither one of us, intention. But we knew from that moment that we both had the same type of seize the moment, seize an opportunity mindset, and we both had balls. We have balls out of the, and at the time I didn't have dreads, I didn't have tattoos, I didn't have muscles, but he did. So in a lot of ways, he was like the big brother. He's like, it was because of him. I was like, damn, man, I want to get dreads. And, I started working out, we started doing push-ups. So it's like
How old were you?
Man, at the time I was like 16 going on 17.
Shit.
I was just young, bro, getting in trouble. And he actually kept me out of a lot of trouble. He had did time already. And, man, he had me talking to grown-ass women. Because when we would go out, like, I couldn't be talking to teenage girls. So I was talking to older girls. And, yeah, Maine was my dude, bro. And he put me on to so many things that kind of continued. Like, think about it. I mean, I started, wanting to get big working out. Because, he had muscles and he had cuts, but he got big in prison, But, hey, he made the best of it. He did nothing but read books in prison, so I already had that in my mind. Like, that's the best thing to do with your time, and that's what I ended up doing with my time. Like I said, he had the dreads. He had tattoos. He was big on networking with people. Even though he had gotten into trouble, all the people he knew and all the people he introduced me to, they were, like, important people. Get what I'm trying to say? He had me working at record labels. Yeah. He had me fucking modeling. He had me going to
put you
different.
On. He was your guy.
Exactly. Yeah. And he never was like.
Is he still around?
Yeah. The last time I saw Maine was a few years ago.
You should text him.
He went and bought houses and shit. I'll bring him. You know what? I should bring him on the channel.
You should bring him on.
Yeah. He went and bought houses and shit in North Carolina.
Yeah. And I'm about to make that same play.
Yeah, Charlotte. Like, he kept asking me,
smart guy.
He's like, yo, come out to Charlotte. So I went out there. The ACAA whatever weekend or whatever, the basketball tournament.
NCAA March Madness.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Bro, I went out there. I was so fucking bored out of my mind. I was like, you told me this was the best time of year. He's like, yo,
it is the best time of year.
It's the most live this time of year. I was like, this is the best.
You live in Miami.
I was like, this is the best that Charlotte gets. Yeah. Mind you, I sold a ton of paintings because I bought a bunch of artwork out there.
Nice.
So I sold a bunch of paintings. I can't complain about that.
Respect.
I did make some money, but I was bored. I didn't get laid. None of the girls. Oh, no, I'm lying. I did hook up with one girl. I hooked up with one chick. She wasn't as hot as I would have liked her to have been, but the sex was amazing. So I kind of was like, oh, okay, well, this was a pleasant surprise. So that was a good thing. But other than that, I was bored out of my freaking mind. He was hardly there because he was working that weekend. So I was like, dude, you told me to come on a time you weren't even fucking off. He's like, I just wanted to see you, little brother. I was like, whatever. I was like, you got to come to Miami. But he won't come to Miami because he's never been on a plane. This man is 44, 45 years old. He's never been on a plane.
Got to get him on a Cessna.
He's never been on a plane.
Yeah, that's wild. It's wild.
He thinks he's going to die.
A lot of people think that.
Yeah, but
cars are way more dangerous.
I can't have this argument with him. He does not want to hear it.
Yeah, the cool thing is you can actually just send him a report, like the data. If I was just like 2 columns.
Oh my
one's
God, man.
Automobile, one's plane. Granted, probably don't send him the automobile one because then he'll never drive. Though, yeah.
But I mean, so guys, chilling with older guys, I'm telling you,
highly recommended.
Highly recommended because there's a lot of stupid things I probably would have did if I didn't have older brothers. Because every time I got in trouble, they were hella disappointed at me.
Well, of course.
Right, they were like hella disappointed.
Because you know better.
Yeah, I mean,
because you know, and they see your greatness is really what that comes from.
And that was their argument.
Like in the reality, it's I know you're better than this because that's why I invest my time with you because I see your greatness.
That's what
so
it
you're
is right
being
there.
Disrespectful. And that's a big deal.
Bro, we would be like at the parades and all these different events that go down, and I would be like 18, 19 at the time, and I'd be with a bunch of dudes that were like 26, 27.
I'm consistently like the youngest. Like, that's it.
Yeah, and the chicks, bro, I'm telling you, like, I'm serious, bro. That if there was like a teenage girl that was cute or whatever, yeah, I'm gonna holler, but I was forced to learn how to like make banter and flirt and interact with the women that they would be with, like the women that they would have around. Yeah.
And you probably picked up there.
Oh, I picked up a lot of stuff.
I mean, that's
because I would repeat the shit that they said.
Because I can tell you're old school.
Yeah,
though you're
I would
young.
repeat the stuff they said.
Right. So
I'd be like, I'm gonna try that on a young chick.
I'm like, where is this coming from? And this makes sense.
Yeah, I would.
It's a lost generation. It really is.
It was beautiful times, bro. And I was never worried. I mean, that's one thing too, is that I lived in a very dangerous area, but I was never worried growing up because I had my cousins that would put it on somebody if need be, and then I had a lot of friends that were older than me, so I always felt like extremely protected. Like I always felt like, listen, you don't want this, this. I'm telling you right now, you don't want this. You know what I mean? I may look small, but. You know what I'm saying?
You don't.
Right, I'm a lot of people's little brother, so you might not want to.
Believe.
Yeah, it was a beautiful thing. Even when I'm in certain states, like when I'm in Texas, when I'm in Houston, bro. I mean, now I'm like older, but all the years I would go to Houston, my family's name ring bells. So the biggest gangsters, they give them that respect. It's a beautiful thing, bro.
It is though. Because respect is a beautiful thing.
Because I know how the streets get, so I try to. Because unfortunately, the 90s and the early 2000s, dudes aren't satisfied with just fighting.
Yeah.
There was a lot of dudes dying, and I just was like, damn, bro, it's not that serious. You know what I mean? Because you could fight people, and then, like, the reason why that, to me, was such a terrible thing is because I would see the guys that actually fought. Somehow they seemed to, like, be cool later. You know what I mean? Like, you'd see two dudes on the bus at the same time that had fought at one point in time.
You settled it.
Right. They're both on the bus. They're both on the train, and it's, you know what I mean? But when you get to putting weapons in the mix.
Changes everything.
Somebody don't come home.
It's not that serious.
It's not. But in the moment.
Yeah. The ability to relegate our emotions is one of the fundamental things wrong with our society. And that's something that we could, like, I address that, and we engage in that with the exercises and with the work that we do with young men around how do you acknowledge the emotions that you have and then channel them and channel that energy into a positive outlet.
How do you deal with it? Because, and I think that's another valuable thing about keeping older dudes in the mix. I think what happens is when the older dudes aren't there, there's nobody to tell these younger guys, hey, listen, y'all got to settle this. You know what I'm saying? You and him. Go ahead and knuckle up. Yeah. And they make sure that it's just that.
It's what it is.
Right. Yeah. They ref it. When the fight gets to that point, they break it up.
Right.
All right. It's done.
Right.
We good? Shake hands. Yo, shake hands. It's squashed.
Doesn't exist anymore.
Right. That older voice, I feel like it's not in the environment anymore. Whether it's a dad, an uncle, an older brother, or just an older dude in the neighborhood, I feel like the older generation is not invested in the younger generation.
Well, they don't understand them.
That too.
So that, like, there's a cultural dissonance that's happened because of the introduction of technology. So the language has changed and the mediums have changed. And so, like, when you talk about warfare, back in 70s, 80s, we were on that cutting edge. Like, you were in the streets. Like, people were actively fighting. Like, it was physical. We're engaged in psychological warfare now.
Yeah, like insulting each other online and shit like that. It's crazy.
It's insane.
That shit blew my mind when I first smelt that. I'm like, yo, this is how these people talk to each other?
That's literally the mechanism at which they inflict harm.
I wish a motherfucker would say that shit to me. Like, what the fuck? Say this shit to me in real life. It's crazy. It's mind-blowing.
And they'll never do it in real life, though. Yeah. That's the funny part.
Right.
Now, what's interesting is, so I'm on the cutting edge of some of this technology stuff, and what's happening with the technology in regards to metaverse and how you go into a simulation and you can actually recreate the entire environment. It's gonna get really curious.
Yeah,
with the types of
there was one story I was reading where one chick was trying to accuse a dude of sexually assaulting her in the metaverse. I was like, wait, what? I'm like, hold on, this is strange. I'm like, so hold on, feelings in the metaverse matter now? Like, you can get convicted of a crime in the metaverse? I'm like, what the fuck?
Who gets arrested?
Where they put you in virtual jail?
Honestly,
like,
though, we have to set a precedent with how we engage and how we legislate these things. Because if we don't do it thoughtfully, we're in for a very concerning future. And that's something we have to be thoughtful about.
And you can't stop it. These things are happening. I'm telling people.
We have to respond.
You're going to figure out how you're going to integrate into this shit.
There's two modalities of life. You're either initiating or responding. That's it.
I mean, I'm a pretty adaptable person.
That's right, and that's what we do, baby.
The thing is, though, I have to decide what I'm supposed to integrate into, because I know there's certain things that I'm supposed to not deal with at all.
Correct.
So, that's the tricky part.
What are those things for you?
Is the judgment call. Well,
what are the things you don't even touch off?
Well, for example, I know the beast system is real. It's a real thing, okay? It's been prophesized for however long. And the tricky thing is...
Can you say that? I don't know if I understand.
The beast system, the beast system that they prophesize in the Bible, it's a thing. It's a system. So, yeah, everybody has different names for things. It doesn't change the thing's existence.
Sure.
Like in every language, you call something by a different word.
Sure.
But it exists to those people, and it also exists to you.
Right.
So... I've been reading about this beast system for years. So for someone to be like, oh, well, I don't believe in the Bible, or, that's superstition, or I don't believe in prophecy, or whatever. For me, I believe in what I believe, and I'm not coming on this like recently. Like these are things that didn't necessarily make sense or click years ago. But now I see what was being described because it's coming to fruition.
Sure.
So it's not a matter of not believing it. It's like if you're seeing it from the right perspective, you can't not believe it because to the detail in which it was described
is showing.
Right. And it's like, how could they have described that thousands of years ago, and all that time in between, what was being said couldn't even be put into context. It couldn't even make sense. It's like, because the technology didn't exist.
Sure.
But now the technology does exist, and you're saying, well, this is exactly what they are describing. The system is this. And you see it unfolding and unrolling more and more and more. Like, it literally tells you that we're going to be suffering food shortages and all these things are described in the beast system.
Interesting.
So it's like, okay, the one world currency is described, one world religion, one language, all these things have already been described. So now, I mean, you can, act airheaded about it if you want, because that hasn't exactly happened yet, but they are working on one world currency. They are working on one world religion, and they are working on one language being what we all speak. Like they're doing that now. So how much longer do you wait before you say, okay, I have to admit, this is eerily similar.
Well, so isn't there a thought process around just the natural laws of divergence and convergence? Things expand and things contract. And so we're in a convergence cycle to where things had expanded with the boom of the internet, and now it's contracting because we've actually utilized that. So consolidating it down into a singular currency, a singular language, that's just the natural laws of what would happen.
No, I get that, but it doesn't affect the prophecy being accurate.
This is where
that's the thing,
right? So I have no context to the prophecy.
You're saying that these people were just that they had that intuition to just guess that would happen. That within itself is amazing. That people over 2,000 years ago could guess and predict where technology would lead us.
The question I'd have for you is there room for both?
Like I said, there's yet for something to happen
right.
that takes away the validity of it. Is what I'm trying to say. If anything, we keep moving closer and closer to confirming it.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying it's like even the parts in Revelation where they'd be like, yo, if you don't take on the mark of the beast, you will not be able to buy nor sell. Like, if you can't see that coming, like imagine when crypto becomes, okay, if they do away with everything except for blockchain, you do realize that if you're not in compliance with whatever it is you would have to do to be eligible to use blockchain, you would not be able to buy or sell. Now, that's something that has never been able to be possible in the history of commerce, in the history of bartering, buying, selling currency or whatever. There's never been a time in history where you could stop people from buying or selling.
Do you think
they would just simply have to go somewhere else to buy it or somewhere else to sell it?
Yeah, I think that's like, I don't know if that's actually truly possible.
Well, I'm not saying that there
we'll find a way.
No, that's what I'm trying to say.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure that somebody's going to be doing something under the table they're not supposed to be doing.
Now, a second market was created overnight with this, right? Like, it's insane.
But you do realize that wouldn't be the beast system then.
And that technology would exist for both, though.
That would be you not participating in the beast system.
Right.
So that's my point exactly. That's what it's saying, that you're going to have to comply with
Interesting.
or you're going to be alienated. So, I already made my choice back then.
Yeah.
My faith was strong back then, many, many years ago. So I can't later on be like, well, it would be more convenient for me to just... No, I have to accept that, listen, it's going to be very inconvenient. It's going to be very uncomfortable to stick to what you believe in.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But the point is you have to be willing to die for what you believe in. And that, I think, is a dying virtue. Like folk nowadays just think that that's stupid. Like, oh no, I'm not going to die for something I believe in. It's like...
You're in for the rude awakening.
What would we have today if nobody in the past was willing to die for what they believed in?
The willingness. This country wouldn't exist.
And to be honest with you, the reason...
I got chills, by the way, because I know this is a real dialogue. Like, these are things that actually matter, and these are conversations that we will have to navigate.
We will have to. And the thing is that we are controllable because nobody has the balls to stand up and resist. And like I'm saying, none of this is like a surprise to me. Like, I was at such a young age when I saw this coming.
Yeah.
Because I figured out the mechanism that they use is basically very similar to how you would control a child.
Sure.
It's like, if I give you a bunch of toys, I give you an Xbox, I give you a PlayStation, I give you an iPhone, I give you internet, I give you Wi-Fi, I give you instant gratification.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Then
psychological warfare.
Right. Then I start giving you, promiscuous sexuality with no strings attached. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's
nobody has to be held accountable anymore.
Yeah.
Once you make everything such a indulgent, heathenistic society, now nobody wants to resist or go against anything because they're like, oh, please don't take my toys. Oh, no, don't take my toys. Oh, don't turn off my Wi-Fi. No, okay, yeah, whatever you say. Just please, don't turn off the Wi-Fi. So, like, I saw that coming a long time ago. Like, I see what they're doing. They're making it so many ways to indulge yourself and to get instant gratification that you're not trying to go without nothing. Like you cannot even perceive intentional have-nots.
Yeah.
Like that can only happen if it's a punishment. Like, I myself would never go without. That's where we are. And like I said, I saw it coming and I was like, it's over. Like, I already saw, like, it's over because they're going to keep on coming up with nice things.
How do we respond? What's your response?
The thing is that people are not going to go without these things.
Yeah.
They're not going to go without these things. Like, I'm already like, boo-hoo because I'm not trying to take the vax to travel.
Sure.
But traveling is one of the things I love the most about life. And I'm already like, damn, I'm going to have to give that up. But part of me is like, don't act like you didn't know it was going to come to this. Long before they spelled out the word COVID, I already knew was going to come the day when I was going to start losing privileges and freedoms because of what I wasn't willing to do.
Sure.
I already knew it was coming. So now it's there, and I'm already looking across the horizon like, I could still go to Mexico. I could still go to Colombia. How long is it going to be before I can't even go to another city without, you know what I'm saying, accepting some whatever?
In certain states, not too long.
That's what I'm saying. In a minute, you're not even going to be able to leave your zip code unless you comply. And what's going to happen is all the people who do not want to comply, they're going to put you in a particular section, a particular sector. So when I'm watching movies like The Hunger Games, years ago when The Hunger Games first came out, I already knew this is the future. We're looking at it right now. This is predictive programming. This is what's going to be the reality. But you're just not sure how they're going to get from where you are to that. Well, now I know. It's going to be a virus.
Sure.
You see what I'm saying? So this whole pandemic or whatever you want to call it, that is the in-between when Hunger Games came out and the time period that the Hunger Games depicts. But it's all about people being split up into sectors.
Yeah, which comes back to the importance of us coming together as a collective. Comes back to us understanding that we have the opportunity and the current freedoms to co-create our future.
Well, right now we
correct.
Do.
As we must continue.
Right, the time is running out.
No. So what are we doing today, right? Like, what are we doing now to perpetuate this forward? How are you, like, as young men, as any individual, sovereign individual? I don't
think there's anything we can do because...
Oh, man, get that. We must.
No, because what it is that the majority wants what's coming. They think they do.
Until they don't.
Well, until it's here. When it's here, then you're like, oh, shit.
What's the alternative, though?
The alternative is to go without... And people are not. That's my point. Like, people aren't going to go without Instagram. They're not going to go without the internet. They're not going to go without Google. They're not going to go without YouTube. Like, they're not going to do that. So the thing is that the establishment got us by the balls because they control all the shit we like.
I think they can.
They centralized everything.
I think there is another world that does exist where people will be willing to release and re-architect the way in which they navigate the world to protect the things they value the most. The way that they get there is by understanding that, by going through a transitional and a compelling state of, like, reaffirmation of self.
But they don't value it.
Because they don't know any better.
What you're talking about is freedom.
What I'm talking about is freedom.
And people don't value freedom anymore.
They don't know it.
Because they don't know what it is.
They don't know it.
That's my point.
As
they
we
don't
must.
know what it is. So, like, for example, I grew up being able to eat fruit and eat animals that were cultivated by my family.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That's a 1 in 100 experience.
Yeah.
Out of every 100 people, maybe one person can experience eating a fucking strawberry that their grandmother grew in a pot.
Yeah, that's amazing, actually.
Which,
by the way,
that's freedom, though.
The agricultural revolution that's happening from a technology standpoint is amazing because we can actually cultivate and grow our own food sources now, like, internally. That's a fun conversation to go through.
But are they going to allow us to do it? They're trying to stop that out right now.
No choice. It's already decentralized. It's a distributed ecosystem. You can build that internally right now.
Well, I mean, I think what I do think is possible is maybe a small group of people or small pockets of people saying, listen, we want this diplomatic immunity. You do whatever you do. And we're going to do what we do within this dome.
I think that should happen regardless.
Right. And maybe they won't be Wi-Fi in here. Maybe we won't have there will be Bitcoin in here. But we're going to have, some way to sustain our way of living similar to like the Amish.
There'll be factions.
That I think, would be very interesting. And that's why I tell guys all the time, use your time wisely to skill yourself up, level yourself up so that you have some type of essential value to the group. You got to be able to do something. Because when the future comes, it's going to be like The Walking Dead. If you don't have nothing to contribute to the group, they're going to let the zombies eat you. Because you're just dead weight at that point in time. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I actively build to make sure that I am not a part of that.
Right. You better be a doctor. You better be a farmer. You better be a mechanic. There better be something you can do that's valuable to the group, or... You're not gonna have a mission.
I know it's super serious as that talk, though. It comes back to the fundamentals, regardless of what the future holds. Of if you're prioritizing your ability to better collaborate in groups, to better to hold more like authentic and really intentional competition between people that's healthy, that's constructive, and your contribution to the collective as a whole, that's gonna lead you down a path that serves your life in a positive way. So to prioritize those activities and those actions is really where to focus the energy and your thought process and the time that you have. And that's how I live my life.
And we're running out of time, so.
Yeah. And speaking
you guys
on
gotta
that.
get on that shit right now. Right now, goddammit, get on it right now.
It's been a pleasure, my man. Truly, this has been fun.
I don't know if my thing is refreshing, but all right. So listen, we're running out of time, guys. Let me see if there's any good questions in here, but I don't see any super chats. But maybe there's a good question. I don't know why Van Lee is just trolling right now. I think you put too much emphasis on the climax. Sounds like servitude to me. Well, that's something a little boy would say. Making a woman climax is not servitude. Men are literally providers. So is buying a woman dinner servitude? I mean, is carrying a woman's heavy bag servitude? If you go on a trip with a woman, you take her to another country or an island and you carry her suitcase for her, is that servitude? Yeah. Sex is a dance between two people, a handshake, if you will. That is such a childish statement, buddy, because if that's the case, she will be shaking another dude's hand if she never comes with you. That's just the facts of it. I don't know why you guys are so programmed to think that doing your part is servitude. It's funny to me because it's literally the male version of what the modern woman says. Cooking and cleaning for a man is servitude. Now you're doing the same thing, bro. I hate to keep it real with you, but you know that's what I do, man. It's nothing personal, but I got to make everything a teachable moment. And this comment right here is exactly what the problem with the modern female's mindset is that anything that benefits a man somehow is servitude. It's somehow beneath her. It's slavery. So you're telling me that making sure that you make a woman climax during sex is servitude. Again, with that logic, you are not going to retain girls that have access to dudes that make them climax. Period. Girl's not going to want to keep sleeping with you if she has another dude that actually takes care of her needs. That also means you don't actually talk to women. When you talk to women, they'll tell you. They'll tell you that they don't like sleeping with guys that make it all about themselves. So yeah, I'm down to massage a woman, massage her feet, and make it an experience because I'm going to get mine regardless. This guy is well established. You guys should collaborate more. Yeah, definitely. We will do something in the future. Yeah, let's see. Let me see what else is in here. Because I know I saw Tip Network in here also. So shout out to Tip Network. Checking in from the gym. That's what's up, man. That's what I like to see, bro. Getting gains, man. All day, every day. Yeah, all day, every day, we in the damn gym. I'm getting ready for competition. I'm about to win something. The trophy gonna be big, guys.
Get him.
This is so real and authentic. That's why I'm glad Allende is doing his thing. Look who else gets this real. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know who else gets that real, bro. Hopefully they won't take my channel down. We're trying to keep it funky. But yeah, I just wanted to introduce Mark to the channel. So I think other times we'll be more organized on specific topics that I think guys can get value from, because he has like a lot of different things I think that young guys can benefit from, and then he's more experienced in packaging that for young guys. I'm getting better at trying to package and deliver it. Because eventually I'm going to open up my channel to women too, bro, because somebody needs to bridge the damn gap, and I'm having more girls emailing me, so I'm like, I might as well just start doing consults for women also. Like, why am I excluding the women?
You should not be excluding women.
Yeah, because I don't have a problem with helping women also. You know, I'm putting
it would be really helpful.
Right, I'm putting anybody up on game, damn it. Caught the last 10 minutes of this, but we'll definitely check out the replay. Heard some interesting topics already. No doubt, Jay. No doubt. I don't know what I need to do with the algorithm, so you guys know when the lives are coming. I'm posting, so I'll talk to some content creators and figure out how they promote their live streams and see if we can get more engagement on that. But send the link to other people so they can catch it on the replay. Maybe that'll help me on the algorithm. And what's the likes looking like? Did you guys tap on the like coming in and shit like that? He said the last 20 minutes was the best conversation I've seen all year. The year ain't over yet, buddy. We just getting cracking. We just getting started. Yeah, so guys, just hit the like for me on the way out. We're going to cut out. I think it's only at 30-something likes. So hit the likes for me, and I know this video is going to do good on the replay. That's the thing. My shit does good on the replay, but I don't know, man. I don't know what to expect. You know, I'm still a new YouTuber or whatever, and I don't look at other people's analytics.
Right. Well, you can't, right? Like, that's...
No, there's supposed to be a way, because people tell me, they're like, oh no, this channel's doing this and compared to this, and you're doing great. And I'm like,
no, just, I mean, there's apps for that for sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have no idea, man. How do I get alerted for your live streams? Yeah, I don't know, bro. Cloud9. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know how to.
I have not trademarked the Gent Network yet, though.
What's that? That's your thing, right?
So, happy to talk about that.
Well, he's going to give me some things to put in the description, so I'll be just as surprised as you guys. I'm not sure what he's got for us, but like I said, I'll have him back on when he has time, and I'll let him, I don't know, decide what potion he wants to give you next time, but he got a gang of stuff, so I'm trying to get better at networking too, my damn self, because you can't, you can't stop learning, bro. You stop learning and...
Progress. Forward is the battle cry.
Yeah, bro. There's just so much going on. Are you big on traveling?
Oh, yeah.
Well, how many countries you been to?
12.
Yeah, he might have me beat. I gotta add him up my damn self because I'm not good at
Yeah, most of Central and South America.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out.
That's where my heart is. My heart is in Central and South America. I also I follow the wind. I kite surf.
Yeah, but you speak Spanish, so
Estoy aprendiendo.
Yeah, I mean, you can get away with the shit. And you look, you got a look that's like...
I am racially ambiguous.
Yeah,
exactly. That's correct.
Racially ambiguous. You could be any damn thing. You could be Barack Obama's nephew.
Let me be clear.
You could be all kind of things. Me and Michelle. Yo, I swear to God, that boy Barry. Oh my God.
Barry,
okay, hit the notification. That too. Guys, hit the damn notification. That will let you know.
Nice.
I don't know shit about YouTube, bro.
Sorry, you will.
By next year, I'm still not gonna know shit about YouTube.
But you're gonna crush it.
But I'm gonna be killing it.
That's right.
I'm not gonna know nothing about
Let's
YouTube.
Go, baby.
I'm gonna be
Let's
killing
go.
it on YouTube. They're gonna be like, what the fuck? You got 100,000 subs and you didn't know about this? I'm like, I had no idea, bro. But I'm gonna get some people to help me with certain things. I'm gonna be getting a staff soon enough. Shit, I might just hire up some people in Mexico because I like to contribute to the economy.
Global ecosystem, baby.
Yeah, I'm all about that. I want to do it in Jamaica, but
Jamaica is the place to do it.
Jamaica's tough, bro. It's tough it's a small island, so
Yeah.
I feel like I'll be like trapping myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll be trapping myself if I go to Jamaica.
Granted.
It's a small ass island.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to spread my wings and fly. All right, guys. Well, listen, catch me on the next one. Tomorrow's Tuesday. I think I got a girl coming. I'm really bad with that kind of stuff. I just got to look in my calendar, but I'm pretty sure I have some girl coming tomorrow.
Nice.
I know there's a girl coming on Wednesday. She's gonna talk to you guys about polygamy. Could you imagine? Found a woman that's like into polygamy. And you know what? I didn't find her. She found me.
How are we not surprised?
That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Women are starting to watch my fucking channel.
That's a good thing.
And I didn't expect that. You know who told me that? Duke was telling me that. Duke was like that women are starting to come on his channel. Well, not now, but at the time that he told me that was a while ago. And he was telling me, yeah, women are going to start coming on your channel too. And I was like, yeah, right. I was like, my channel is offensive as shit. Ain't no women coming on my fucking channel.
And they're showing up.
But I was wrong.
They're showing up.
I was wrong. Aisha, that the fitness chick that came on a few nights ago, she saw my channel and reached out to me on Instagram. And I didn't even know until she was already on the channel. She didn't tell me that. She just hit me up on Instagram, and I was like, oh man, she looks good. Why don't you come on the show? And then when she's on the show, she's like, yeah. She's like, I saw your video on this. I'm like, wait, what? So yeah, this other girl likes my channel, and she says she wants to come on and talk about polygamy, and I was like, cool.
It's like, that works.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
I was like, cool. She's cute.
That's a really important thing. Like, to have that dialogue, to be able to open up the conversation. I mean, I told you earlier, I'm non-monogamous. And the ability to, like, be able to effectively communicate is really what all of it comes down to.
I would have wanted that. Like, I wanted that, but I didn't pursue it.
Yeah.
So I didn't think that would be so easy. So I guess shame on me for doubting myself, because I didn't even attempt to find women that were familiar with polygamous lifestyles. I didn't even think to do it.
It's the best.
Like, in my mind, I thought, damn, it would be really helpful if some women would talk about it so that everybody wouldn't think I'm crazy. But I didn't think I'd actually be able to find any. So guys, see, this is when I have to take my own damn criticism, because I tell you guys all the time, stop being so negative, stop being so doubtful, stop saying there's no girls like this and there's no girls like that, and no girls are relationship material and they're all this and they're all that. there's always something out there. And here I am doing the same thing, thinking to myself, I ain't gonna find no girl that's into polygamy. And then a chick messages me on Facebook like, hey, saw your channel and I'd love to come on and talk about this, and that.
So much more attainable than you think.
That's what I'm saying.
So much more attainable than you think.
So I think what it is that you got to exercise the manifestation muscle. Find that muscle in your brain. It's probably like super scrawny. It's probably like a spaghetti noodle because you guys don't use that muscle. And start exercising and manifesting things. Start small and work your way up. And you think I'm talking nonsense right now. I'm not.
No, do start small.
Because I actually did that. I used to start off practicing on parking spaces and shit like that. I would go to New York City or South Beach, places where I knew it was almost impossible to find parking. I would think in my mind exactly where I wanted that parking space to be. And then like the last 15, 20 minutes of the drive, I would just keep on imagining that I'm going to find an open parking space right here, right here, right here. As I get there, somebody's going to pull out. As I get there, somebody's going to pull out. And then 80% of the time, when I would get there, someone would pull out. Then 85% of the time, someone would pull out. And now it's to the point where I could be in the car with a chick and be like, don't worry about it, we'll get parking. And the girl would be like, no, there's never going to be parking. I'm like, all right. Watch. Just shut up and keep your negative energy to yourself.
Just watch.
Don't counteract my positive energy and watch this. And every time there'd be a parking space right the fuck where I would want it. It works.
It does work.
And
it's
that,
a real thing.
And that's why the people that like teach it or coach it or whatever, they literally tell you to start off with practicing with little things like that. That way you can not only exercise the ability, but you can prove to yourself that it's real. You can prove to yourself that it's a real thing.
You control the construct.
It's weird. It's weird how your consciousness actually controls reality. It's a strange thing. But it's also why the elites do what they do, because they're literally harvesting our perception. They're harvesting it. It's like you ever notice that if you can get a large enough group of people to believe something, that something eventually becomes true now? Very strange. Look all throughout history, everything that we have previously to it being reality, they kept showing it to us and conditioning us to believe that that's the way it already was. Long before we had this, inner city crime rate, they were already telling you in the media, all these black people that live here are criminals. All these black people that live here are criminals.
Granted, I'll tell you, this actually goes back to, is that what the prophecy was, though?
Probably part of it's probably in there too, though, because that's in there too. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. They literally create reality by manipulating us to believe things that they want to be true. I'm telling you.
And I'm going to say, this is going to be my last thought. It is our responsibility to create the reality that we know is going to best serve humanity. So
yeah, but we have to do it collectively.
Correct.
That's the issue.
Correct.
So, I mean,
that is the opportunity.
Only the evil people are getting together, holding hands, meditating and chanting together.
Well, I'm going to hold your hand.
Not the.
We got this.
We gotta kumbaya this motherfucker if we want.
Yo, I am happy to sing kumbaya for anybody. Like, let's fucking
ayahuasca.
Go.
Let's all get together and take an ayahuasca trip.
Medicine sounds nice.
Let's go to Costa. I got a client in Costa Rica. Yeah, he does that. So
yeah, that's I'm not coming back when I do that. That's gonna be my
I'm terrified.
There's certain contributions that I'm making to this world, and then when that happens, I
haven't done it yet. I want to do it, but
I wish you the best. Safe journey.
That's
safe
one of the few things I'm scared of.
Rightfully so.
It sounds terrifying.
You purge yourself.
The people I know that have done it, bro, they tell me it's a very
it's completely life altering. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know what to do because I don't know how I'm gonna come out on the other end.
Embrace the journey.
But eventually, I'm gonna try it, guys. Yeah. Especially if I get comfortable in Costa Rica. I know some people. I got places I can stay where I can trust people. I'm like, all right, guys. Today's gonna be the day.
That's right.
That I try the ayahuasca.
Well, it's like, and it's a 5-day prep to it, right? God. Like you come correct. Like you have to be intentional with how you're going in. We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. This motherfucker gonna get me into some shit. All right, guys, we're out of here. Catch me like in 24 hours. We're gonna do it again, man. I see you guys.